These eyes do not see what you and I see. Behind these eyes, one finds only blackness, the absence of light. These are the eyes of a psychopath.
Boop, 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 boop. I'm sorry. I was trying to do the 8 More Days to Halloween because I love that theme song so much. And we're coming up with such an ugly film right now. I just want to be in a happy place.
I'm sorry, this movie is better than Halloween 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a different film.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you guys don't know it, welcome back to Citizen Frame. The spoiler-filled Harsh Language podcasts that crosses the lines in any kind of decency whatsoever.
So far beyond the line, it's a dot to you.
Exactly. And joined with me is the regular band of Misfits, Nuala.
Hello.
And Colin.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But we're going to change gears a bit, as our last podcast left you. Pretty much just a breakdown of why we had to get a reboot in real fast.
Yeah.
So what better way to give us a reboot than give it to Zombie? I was okay with it. I like Zombie. I like Rob Zombie. I like White Zombie. I like his music. I liked Devil's Rejects. I liked House of a Thousand Corpses. But is he the right man for the job because of the way he doesn't know how to quit when it comes to using violence?
Yes.
And that's the problem we will probably mainly be discussing about Halloween 2007. Competently made, competently directed, better acted, very good cast in this one. But does he cross the line to the simplicity of was Halloween? And that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about. Let's start off right off the bat with, I got to admit, I am very pleased of the score. Tyler Bates is the one who did the composing. He did a really nice job of bringing back the score.
He did.
But make it his own. Let's talk about the amazing soundtrack. Zombie's very good at putting good 70s music in his soundtracks. Stuff he probably grew up in loving. So I was very pleased to see that soundtrack. The cool thing about Zombie, you never know what time era it is.
I was trying to place the time. I was kind of confused because the phones looked like the late 90s.
Yeah. You're spot on. Because you don't know, he starts off in the 70s, or is this the 80s now? Or you don't really get an era. It's almost like it's his own era that he's created. And he does that, which I think is a nice little trope that he puts into his films. But let's talk about, me and Colin, we have this discussion, right? And Nuala, because you're on the podcast with us.
Yes, hi.
No, you're excluded. It's just me and Kieran.
Okay.
I made the comment about how the innocence of Michael Myers, and might have thrown some people off, how much you kind of feel sorry for him. If you want to listen to why I said that, just go back and listen to our podcast. But less was more. You don't need to know why. You need a mystery about the man behind the mask. This film decides they're going to tell you what the mystery was. And it is the worst storytelling. It just ruins the image of Michael Myers.
See,
it's over.
I get what you mean. If you're like a diehard fan of the original, it is quite a jump because you really don't see what brought Michael to the point where he decided to kill his sister, and to go on a killing spree. You don't see that. This kind of just spells it all out for you. But like in the original, it seems like the family was well put together, to look at them. But in this, they're an absolute wreck, But
that's the problem. The problem with this, I don't mind showing a backstory of Michael Myers. What I have a problem with, the over-the-top family this is. This trailer trash.
every stereotype of a trashy kind of family that you could think of.
And it's disgusting.
And by the way, not that we're saying that is, but it's trying to put every kind of cliche together, you know?
Yeah, and first of all, we're all supposed to feel sorry for Michael. He's torturing animals in the opening scene. So right there, you've lost me. You don't torture animals. And you got this family dynamic, and you meet Judith, who's just a bitch. The stepfather, way over the top. I like William Forsythe. I like the actor. And then obviously Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie, plays the mother. But it's so over the top. Even when he gets bullied in the school, I didn't feel sorry for him because you've ruined it with him torturing animals. And then you meet Dr. Loomis. And they found this in his bag, and it was a dead animal, and he's got pictures of dead animals. And he didn't know what direction to go here, because you've already taken me out of the loop by him killing, torturing animals. But then at the same time, we're supposed to feel sorry for him because Judith's not taking him to get candy.
I feel sorry for the kid. That's a terrible situation to grow up in. It's a very extreme version of it. Of a bad home, as I say, there's everything there.
You could have done that without going to the extreme. This just overkills it to the point, pardon the pun, because he does overkill. It would have been better if he was sexually molested, because we obviously know what's going to happen. He's going in a direction, which I do like. He's there to protect Laurie Strode when he comes back. And maybe he was molested by the father, and make it more of a middle class family. Because you've just taken me out with the over the top language, the gratuitous comments. It was just to the point.
I am okay. It's okay with it, and I'll tell you why. Some of the worst killers have come from that kind of environment.
That is also true. It's an uncomfortable thing to watch, because
it is.
That's unfortunately not how everybody comes to that situation, but that kind of environment would breed a child to start maybe hurting animals or whatever else. It's the most extreme version of it, but it has happened. Unfortunately, people have been raised in homes like that.
I'm not here to watch How to Make a Murderer. I'm not here to watch Ted Bundy Chronicles. I'm here to watch a Halloween film.
Well, yes, but it was a more grounded... I say grounded for Halloween. It's a more, there's no mystical, power driving him. There's no cult of Thorn. There's no power of Halloween. There's nothing. It's just he's mental.
Yeah, we know that, but we're not here to talk about those other ones. That's why we dismissed them. And most people do dismiss those. But you're taking you're going the complete opposite. It doesn't work. It would work if it was a zombie film and it was about a madman.
It works. And how it does work. Absolutely. To get him to the point where he becomes what he is. I think it's pretty solid.
Because it goes from just a bad upbringing to him snapping one night just because his mum, who's kind of his grounded thing, is gone. She's out doing her thing. He's already killed or basically killed that school kid. He's killed small animals. He's working his way up. Then it's Judith, his stepdad, and then it's just him and baby Boo or whatever, and Laurie.
Yeah. It's seeing his mother that way, I think, is really what fucking flicked the switch on him. Whenever that bully pulled out the image of his mother topless, and saying that she works at the strip joint, because he loves his mum, the way he speaks to her, and he's very gentle with her. And I think that's where that point comes in, and that's again believable.
Yeah, it's the sort of cliche mama's boy serial killer.
What I did like was the introduction of the mask, especially when he puts on, because Judith's boyfriend wears it first, and then he puts on to do his killing, and it's like he looks like a bobblehead, but it's creepy.
Yeah, because there's also a vibration effect going on when he puts it on.
Yeah. But again, ruins it by him walking into Judith's room and slowly putting his hand up her leg.
But again,
and try and
in that house, God knows what's happened, and that kind of. I'm just saying.
Whatever. Okay. I guess I'm seeing a completely different film here.
I'm just saying it's a fucking grim. It is grim. Whether or not you think it's a bit too much for the movie, it's a solid start, man. I think to that film for laying it all out.
It's not too much for a movie. It's too much for a
Halloween movie.
But you're just holding it dear because it's your franchise.
No, I'm talking about Halloween. I'm not talking about the franchise. I'm just talking about Halloween.
Okay, then it's still perfectly fine.
No, it's not.
It is.
Now,
she's like, absolutely not.
That's it. Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 boop. So yeah, he goes after the family, kills them all, and he is now institutionalized, and he's got Dr. Loomis on his care. This is where we kind of really get to meet Dr. Loomis. We met him for a quick second earlier. Played by Malcolm McDowell, who I like to see. I do think he's good casting as Dr. Loomis.
He had more to do, at least, as Loomis.
Yeah, and I like that. I do like the fact there's a really tough scene I actually really enjoyed, if I can say that. Tough scene I really enjoyed. When Michael is just sitting there, I think it's over the top, when the nurse starts making fun of him.
Yeah.
And then the kid just fuck you, bitch, and he attacks her. And no offense, rightfully so.
Well, she called him ugly, and he's like, I don't think so. But which makes me think too, by the way, that nurse is maybe quite mean to him, because he said to his mum, I keep the mask on. Why? Because I'm ugly. And maybe she's been horrible to him for a while. But the bigger question is, why leave that child with an actual metal fork, and why turn your back on him if you know that he does what he does?
Because Zombie told her to.
I know, but it doesn't. Like, come on, are you looking to be stabbed in the neck? With a fork?
They would be more. Yeah, they wouldn't have those kind of utensils there.
They wouldn't. The only thing I could think of again is, he's been on good behavior since then. He hasn't really acted out in any capacity. Again, it's very far-fetched, that part. But yeah,
maybe because they didn't leave him in rooms with nasty nurses with real metal forks to that point. Who knows? Freaked me.
Well, the scene leads up to a scene I liked, and it was a very sad scene, because once he lashes out on the nurse, the mother, and even Dr. Loomis knows there's no hope. And then the mother goes home, watches old video of her kid, and she takes her own life.
Yeah, it's pretty grim.
It's very, for a horrendous beginning. The movie starts taking a turn a little bit for me, and I like that. Then we cut to 15 years later, and this is where I'm teetering on. First of all, Michael Myers is now fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah, he is huge.
Played by Tyler Mane, who I like. He played Sabretooth in the X-Men movie.
Which was a terrible role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but he's, I gotta give him his due. But I like Tyler Mane. And he's just this massive giant. And I thought I teetered on this for a long time, when I first saw it, that is. And I always liked, nerd, basic 6 foot, 5'9", whatever he was, Michael Myers, skinny guy, but you don't really realize he's this unstoppable force. This guy's an unstoppable force. Yeah. And I was wondering why Zombie did this. And I figured it out. I think it's because he's been so cooped up for so long, and he's so full of fucking rage, he's become this giant.
That, or he has just been using his time wisely, getting leg day in, bench presses, making that time, work.
I think it's a metaphor for his built up rage. Yeah. What do you guys think of the size of this guy over the Michael we know?
He's extremely intimidating. He is more believable to be as powerful. Like when he bursts through a wall at one point, you're like, yeah, that Michael could do that. He is just so threatening when you see the size difference. It's just there to intimidate you. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Nuala. Like, for me, it worked. I mean, Michael was always kind of a larger, imposing figure to a degree. but this really sells it, obviously, because he is physically larger.
Yeah. He reminded me of Kane, the wrestler, too. Like, whenever I seen him with that mask on, the hair down.
If you weren't aware, Tyler Mane was a wrestler.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm not for. I mean, there two. What I went with was that I know the basic, stealth mode, Michael. Where this guy's just, here I come.
This is rage mode, Michael, which I actually kind of like.
Which I'm okay with, believe it or not. It took me a while to kind of adapt to it.
Yeah.
And I think he does a nice job. I do like the scene where Loomis decides to give up on him.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he's like, "You're basically my best friend. What does that say about me?"
Yeah. It's a good scene. It's well written.
Yeah.
And when he walks away and he looks up one more time, and then this is where Michael escapes. There's two versions of this escape. For you people, most people have probably seen the unrated, which is a over-the-top, gratuitous rape scene, which to me is just, quite frankly, I'll even say the word disgusting.
It's completely gratuitous and unnecessary. It
is uncomfortable. And if I'm watching a Halloween film and I'm uncomfortable, and not because beep, 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 but I'm seeing a girl get brutalized for absolutely doesn't add anything to the story.
No.
When the original cut was him being moved and he's in shackles and he finds out something about his sister, can't remember exactly what it was, but it causes him rage and he bursts out of the chains and he kills everybody with the chains. Very violent, very over the top, but it was, it's Michael. This is the way it was. But to do this, to add this to a franchise that's quite frankly harmless in the storytelling is too much. Way too much.
I am the controversial one here in that I don't mind it. And the reason being,
you see two evil sons of bitches get their comeuppance.
Basically, yeah.
But I don't think that's enough of an excuse to put that into the movie. To be fair, that was just unnecessary.
It's a prompt enough for Michael just to be like, "This is it, time to die, and I'm out of here."
No. Him being transported somewhere and overhear something. Boom, I'm mad. Bam, that's it. You don't need to see a girl getting brutalized.
Yeah.
No, you don't. But I'm still okay with that scene. Maybe it's again because that's the version I originally saw. And I believe Rob Zombie's Uncut is the first Halloween movie I watched properly. So I probably don't mind it as much because I didn't know the franchise before, and I've seen worse in other movies.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he just had two friends that he wanted to give roles to.
They're in all his movies too.
There you go.
But that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Well, at least you and I are on the same page, Nuala.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, "Go, Michael, kill them."
Absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong.
No, it has nothing. It has nothing to do with the deaths of them. Kill everybody. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But you don't do it doing I mean, come on.
But no, what I would say is these are the only ones that I'm like, go get him. Like, I'm rooting for him to kill somebody.
Well, they're evil bastards too, and they deserve it 100%. And whenever they get their fucking their comeuppance, as I said, it's 100%. Yes, good. Fucking, they deserved it. But the whole scene in and of itself is meh.
Yeah, you could even kept the scene where they go into her cell and they're going to start brutalizing her, and Michael, for them doing that,
down the door or something.
Michael, like Michael, it would have been a cool little. It would have been a good idea if them being distracted with her in her cell, they forget him, so he's free. He's like, "Oh, okay, cool," and he walks past them, but he hears the girl being screaming. He decides to help her.
But if I remember correctly, he doesn't kill her though, does he?
No, he doesn't.
No.
He rips the door open, and then he kills them, but you don't see anything. They kind of about to get to it, so he helps her, and he walks away because he's kind of a carer for his sister. We were about to find out. It would have been a good little segue to do it that way. He does brutalize his buddy Max, played by Danny Trejo.
Yeah,
that's a tough death.
It is.
I didn't like that. I was like, no, don't kill Danny.
which was funny because it's the one guy who has always looked after him, and he gives him the worst death. I am going to drown you for a while,
And drop
throw
a
you
TV
on the ground, and then drop a TV on your head.
And not even like, a modern flat screens. It doesn't, doesn't weigh too much. Full blown old school CRT. Those things are heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have go, Michael, can you do me like a 17-inch flat screen?
Yep. Could you just knock me out, rough me up a little bit, leave me to, let somebody find me? No. Wrecked.
And Michael has escaped. So this is where it becomes a Halloween remake.
Mm.
So the first part, we're introduced why he became who he is. Now this is literally, it's almost scene by scene.
True. Although we do have the addition of, obviously, we now know that he's basically merged the sister plot from Halloween 2 into Halloween 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought he did a nice job with that.
Yeah, it's
I was
not bad.
okay with it. I think, we're okay with it now because we know that's the basic plot now of Halloween, thanks to Halloween 2. So we're not as offended by it as we were when we saw it in Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Back in 81 or 82.
Because they did a better job of kind of connecting it, I guess. Setting it up.
It was out. Yeah, I thought they did all right. We're introduced to the new Laurie, played by Scout Taylor Compton. We got Annie Brackett, who's now played by Danielle Harris.
Who is Jamie from Halloween 4, right?
She was Jamie in Halloween 4 and 5. She played the little niece that he was after.
Right, okay.
She's back, and Brad Dourif plays Sheriff Brackett. And then we get... I like the scene where he gets his clothes. I do like this when he goes to the truck stop, and the guy's taking a dump.
Yep.
And do you notice who that guy is? That's Ken Faree.
That's
from Dawn of the Dead.
It is indeed. I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah, I knew you liked that one. He's fun to see. He's done like 300 films.
A ton. And you would think, like, putting them toe to toe whenever they're standing in the stall of the bathroom, you're like, he could actually maybe take Michael here. Because he's like looking right eye to him.
It's good casting because he's a big guy too.
Yeah.
So to get him in a suit that would maybe fit, it makes sense. I like when he goes back to the house and he gets the mask because he's hid the mask, and the mask is decayed, roughed up a bit. It's a cool little mask. I like what they tweaked with the mask. I like how they did that.
I am curious how young Michael got that under the floorboards, though.
Dude was a carpenter in training at 10 years of age. He was able to pull up the floorboards and then put them back into place in that after murdering his whole family.
So he's in town. He's in town and to visit the folks. So we got Linda and Bob. I think their death plays a pretty fair homage to their death in the original. I actually thought it was kind of effective when he stabs up and he hangs him. This time you can see the force. You talked about that, Nuala, how you didn't see the you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
you didn't see the force
of it.
in this one.
Yes, again,
you see the force.
The knife is too short.
It was, but it was still a good shot. It didn't work a bit when he was tilting his head because the way Zombie shot it was from down the stairs and they're on the top of the stairs. So when they try to do that homage of him tilting his head, like admiring his art, it doesn't work.
I liked that they did it though.
Yes, of course, you have to keep it. And of course, he shows up with the famous what do you call it, the sheet and the glasses. Again, gratuitous nudity for no reason. Just wouldn't. I mean, he doesn't stop. He won't stop. His violence even goes over the top.
Well, is Linda not? Isn't that the same nudity as Linda in the original one?
What? She shows her boobs for like a half a second. This one, you see her whole kit and caboodle.
Whole kit and caboodle.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, Karen needs a reset here.
I don't, guys, anyone listening to this, I'm not like, I'm anti-nudity. I just think for a Halloween film, I don't want it. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind if I'm watching killer dude guy movie. But for a Michael Myers film, I just don't need to see it. I mean, it doesn't stop either.
No, but it is a Rob Zombie movie, so it's correct for a Rob Zombie movie.
Exactly, and that's why is he the right man for this film. But I will say, Rob Zombie doesn't have an off switch.
Mm.
And that's his problem. He doesn't know when to go, okay, I'm going to pull this back. And that's his downfall. But he's got some flashes of genius here. Do you know he's remaking the Munsters TV show?
Yes, I'm actually looking forward to that.
I hope was he going to have rape scenes in that one too?
I wouldn't imagine so, no. I fucking hope not. I'd be furious,
Hey,
man.
Come here, Grandpa. I got you a whore. Oh, okay, Herman.
I really hope not.
Oh, God. But we just went boop, 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 boop. Ew, yeah. Okay. But yes, they kept pretty much true to Bob and Linda's deaths. Now, Annie, again, I grew up watching this girl on TV, and when she was just a kid, obviously playing the niece when she was a kid. So again, she's naked again in this scene, and she just gets brutalized, sliced, and it doesn't stop.
Mm.
But if you were this version of Michael, that's correct for him. This one isn't a silent, just stalker. He is just a rage machine.
I know that. And I
He's
know
just
that.
a rage machine.
Exactly.
He's put it. Zombie can't cut it back now. He can't, because he's given this character. So if he did what Michael did in Halloween, he'd go against everything he tried to do. So he has to go this route. I understand that. But it's by his own hand, his fault. But there's a cool shot when Laurie finds Annie's body, and the panic. This is where the film I like. The rest of the next 30 minutes, it's just one big chase. I do like the actresses in it. I like Annie. She's all cut up and she's bleeding.
Screaming for Laurie.
She's trying to tell Laurie, don't leave me, because he's still in the room with us.
Be bad for her.
Get the words out. And so she runs out to get help, Laurie, and then the door of the house opens up a little bit, and he's behind the door.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at her and, playing with his catch. The rest of the film is pretty much just chasing. This is where we find out that he's there to protect her from people that might do her harm. Remember I brought this up in Halloween, where I always thought there's something about Michael that he was there to protect. I thought it would have been better if he was protecting her rather than just going after her for no reason or going after her sister. It made more sense what Zombie's doing here to protect the sister from a childhood that he didn't want her to have.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want her to get abused, didn't want her to get bullied.
Yeah.
So I do like that take on it. I would have peppered that into the Halloween film if I could. But she pretends to be friends with Michael. Michael's like, "Okay, we're brother and sister. Look at the picture."
Would he still have killed her? Do you think? Like, kill her to save her from the world? Or
yes.
Yeah.
I think after she knifed him in the neck, when he was like, "I'm down. I've taken my mask off. I've disarmed myself," and she's like, "I want to help you. I want to help you," and then knifes him. I would then be after her and kill her.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. But like, if she didn't knife him, like if she was like, right, okay, I'll help you, would he still have killed her? Was he going there to kill her regardless?
No, he's there to protect her.
But like, surely...
wasn't a plan. It wasn't like he had like, I've got some day trips booked at the stay spa. We're going to get to know each other again.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what? Like, where are they going to go from here? Because... obviously, he's led a trail of bodies to himself.
He's a beast. He doesn't have... He's got one focus, to protect his sister. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's basically locked them both away in their old basement.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, Loomis comes to try to save the day. And he gets his head crushed, but he shows up in the second one perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll just throw that one away.
Well, he shows up later in the movie perfectly fine, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're thinking there. But I do like the ending. And where she's very good, Scout Taylor Compton, where she's just screaming and screaming, and there's blood all over her. She's got a broken nose, and she finally she's shooting at him right point blank in the face. Finally, the gun goes off, and blood flies all over her face. She's just screaming, and then ends end of the movie.
Mm.
But it also goes back to the baby photo, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see some old photos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's I like that. I like that. It obviously Halloween did the same thing. You know, he dies, end of. But this one was just more raw.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to explain this. This is a raw version of Halloween.
Yeah, that's probably the best word to describe this movie.
Yep.
And there we go. You know?
And then the one we won't talk about, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah, no. I don't even...
No, I haven't seen that one.
You keep forgetting and thinking you haven't seen this movie, but you have.
Nights in White Satin, and the mom comes back from the dead in a white horse.
Yeah. Every time we talk about Halloween 2, and you're just like, I haven't seen that one. And like, this is honestly about the fourth time I've been like, no, we did. You and I saw it together. And she's like, oh yeah. But has zero memory of it.
Well, it clearly tells you how much of an impression it left on me. It must have been absolute tripe.
It is. It's terrible.
You rather watch Halloween 5
Okay.
than this.
Okay.
Rob Zombie even says, the studio rushed me. They got me. They had me by the balls, blah, blah, blah. And he just said it's his least favorite film. Mm-hmm. So even he admits to it. Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about it.
All I can say about that movie is it actually gave me a sore head watching it.
God.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I'm quite glad that I, in this instance, have the memory of Goldfish. And
yeah, it's completely gone.
Yeah, it's completely gone. I do not remember seeing this. If I watch clips from it, I would probably go, oh right, yeah, but like I'm not going to hunt those out. I don't want those memories back. The Abyss can have them.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Abyss, though, that was a good movie.
Next up, so guys, your final thoughts, real quick, before I enter mine. Nuala.
I liked it. I really didn't like the scene, obviously, that we spoke about. I think that was far too much. But with the cut version of it, slotting that in is, it's a good movie, man. It's got the gore, it's got the the unstoppable force, and you really feel that with this Michael. He is unstoppable. He looks it, and it just oozes out of him, you know. Good solid movie.
Right up. Colin.
Unstoppable rage monster with an epic soundtrack. Would recommend. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I like that. I didn't like the first act. That's just the way it's going to be. I think it was over the top. Not because I'm a prude, but I just think it would have been better if they just toned it down a bit. Maybe he's getting molested or something.
Do you know what? Just tone it down a bit. Just haven't been molested. You know?
I didn't mean it.
Here's like, yeah, this movie really needs to tone it down. Rob Zombie needs to step back a bit and maybe have this kid molested.
Just only have molested.
I didn't mean
Holy fuck.
That's so good.
Are you sure maybe you don't need to tone it down a bit, Kieran?
Oh my god.
Shit. Like, what's your version of Halloween look like? Maybe have Michael molested when he's a kid.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning. See, if we have Michael molested when he's a kid, that's why, like, whenever he grows up, he's obsessed with stabbing people, you know?
Let me finish what I was gonna say. What I meant was subtly.
There's no pooping your way out of this one, mate.
Okay. Oh, that's going on our greatest hits. What I meant was, okay, hold on here, make sure my mic's on. Okay,
is this thing on?
Oh fuck me, that was a good laugh.
Yeah, obviously not.
No,
obviously not the situation, but Kieran's comment about it.
Yes.
What I meant was, the stepfather, the gratuity of the language, everything was just so over the top. And I understand what you guys were saying, what he was trying to do, but I just thought it should have been more behind closed doors. I thought it would have been better if the father's doing something to young Michael, or the sister is something creepier than that. But it can be done more, like I said, behind closed doors, subtly. I'm not saying, yeah, that's what I want, but that's the direction they could have went. Hence the reason why he's so protective of Laurie.
Yeah.
he just doesn't know when to stop with the violence.
Yeah.
He can't stop. He needs to calm down because he's got flashes of genius in this film that I would love to have seen put into the original Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the Laurie Strode character better where he's there to protect her, not kill her. That makes more sense to me. I like the rage. I like Tyler Mane. I like the fact that his rage is built up so... He's so built up in rage that he's become this giant beast.
Mm-hmm.
I like the actors in it. I think it's beautifully shot. The second act plays a lot better for me because it's pretty much a Halloween remake. I think the deaths are clever. Well, not clever. They're just rebooted, but they're done well. I like the last 30 minutes of him chasing her. I like the interaction, even that little simple scene with the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have been better if I felt sorry for Michael, because I didn't. Because he brutalized animals. I know it sounds silly, but once I saw that in the opening shot, I was like, well, fuck this kid.
Like from these case studies that they do, and like
I know.
That's generally how the trend goes. You know, starts with animals, so it makes sense.
I almost think they should have went more of a sympathetic route with him. I understand you got this rough lifestyle, I guess you can say. But if you got away from the cliche of torturing animals, because that's the way, that's the direction serial killers go, and do something different where he was more protective of it. Something to give us that he's a little more vulnerable than I'm going to kill animals, start killing everybody else.
But you do see that vulnerable side with his mum, and you do see it with his kid sister as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you do. But again, still tarnished a little bit. What you could have removed some of the stuff that he did. Even the scene where he beats the shit out of the bully with the thing. Dude, stop. Calm down. I
was okay with that because again, it shows what's inside him. It's just pure rage.
I think that should have been left to what he does to the family. But again, you know what? I'm going to tell you now, it's not a train wreck. It's a decent film. It's well shot. I mean, it's competent. I like zombie style. I just don't like if it didn't have the Halloween name on it.
I'd rather watch this than Halloween 2 or 3.
Agreed.
I'd take 2 over this. 3's a different film, really. I mean, but it's not offensive, guys. But I only have the rated version. I just can't watch that scene. It's just disturbing.
Yeah.
And that's definitely takes away from, when you're getting into the film. Just tarnishes it again. Too many tarnishes. Too many tarnishes.
Yeah, I'll not be watching that version of it again. Absolutely.
Yeah, I always tell people watch the rated.
Yep.
There's a great shot in the rated, which he cut, and it's just a. I don't know. Okay, you remember D. Wallace Stone, the parents who are raising Laurie Strode? They're the Michael Myers is just staring at them, and this is the rated version, just from across the street, and he's behind a tree. Well, he is the tree, and he's just and the mother, Laurie Strode leaves. The mother goes into the house, and the dad's just standing on the porch, and he sees the guy. He sees Michael from across the street. And Michael just starts walking toward him. Just starts walking. And he starts walking. And it's one shot. And he's just walking toward him. Yeah. Walking toward him. You see it from the father's point of view.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking creepy. He's like, whoa, what are you for Halloween? And it's just a swipe with the knife. Pretty much taking the father's head off.
Yeah.
It's such a terrifying moment. But in the unrated version, he just sneaks up and pushes him in the door. Where the rate, I don't know why it's tougher to get the rated version. The rated version is a lot better, guys. You should check it out. So there you go. That's all I've got.
Yeah. Join us next week for, well, let's not confuse the names. Halloween 2018.
Yes. We appreciate our fans out there, so we're not going to talk about Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. Whoa, I just burped. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Kieran feels about Halloween too. Rob Zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, thanks for joining us all. Nuala, Colin, thank you as usual.
Thanking you for having us.
Yep. And again, always follow us on Citizen frame_podcast on Instagram.
You just about
And,
got it out.
Yep.
I did pretty good. And on Facebook. We are out of here. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.